Do you think landing this fight against Islam Makhachev happened because you pushed for it beyond just being a great fighter? I absolutely believe so. I know I earned this opportunity through my performances, but I also know my online presence helped push fans into realizing I deserved this moment because I earned it. There is zero doubt about that. I defeated the former champion. My prize for winning that fight is what? Facing a guy I already defeated on 3 weeks' notice. That's my reward. That's my next challenge. Does that even make sense? A man I already beat, and after beating Makhachev, my reward is another fight against someone I already handled with just 3 weeks to prepare. I earned this fight. I walked in there and beat him across 3 rounds. He dominated the conversation. No, he couldn't even take me down. The entire foundation of his game was stopping him from putting me on the ground, and that's exactly what happened. He was a fighter who trained with Islam. Afterward, I delivered one of the most unforgettable moments leaving the octagon. There's a video of it, and it's incredible. A guy in the crowd actually handed me this giant leprechaun hat, so I grabbed it, put it on my head, and started saying, "Islam, he couldn't stop me. He couldn't take me down." I turned the whole thing into a massive promo for this fight. I was basically saying, it's your responsibility, your duty, to step up and fight the best contender on the planet. And guess what? You're looking at him, Ian Machado Garry. It was insane. It was electric. It showed how much you can control the story, and that's something I love. Honestly, I'm not scared. There is nothing I see him doing that makes me nervous. I chose this sport. I chose MMA. I wanted to become a world champion. I wanted to prove I belonged among the best fighters alive, and the only way to do that is by defeating the best. So fear doesn't exist for me. Yes, there are risks. You can lose, get knocked out, or face anything inside the cage, but without taking those risks, you never achieve greatness. That's not fear, that's the process. I think about every possible thing that can happen in a fight, so I'm prepared when it happens. I know exactly how dangerous Islam is. I know his ability. He has a 29-1 record. He is a 2-division champion, one of the greatest lightweight champions ever, and holds one of the most impressive championship runs in UFC history. He moved up and captured another title. He is among the longest active win streak holders in UFC history, and if he defeats me, he will break the record for consecutive victories. So I'm facing a 2-weight world champion, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, a man chasing history. And that's exactly the person I need to beat to prove I'm the best. The biggest nightmare when I look at Makhachev is being trapped underneath him for 25 minutes in a boring fight. He's an incredible wrestler, an elite grappler, and if you give him the chance to stay on top and use his wrestling, he can completely suffocate you. He can make you feel like you're trapped under a heavy weight, unable to move. That's not entertaining for anyone. Not for me, not for him, and definitely not for the fans watching. If Islam Makhachev gets the chance to stay on top and unleash his wrestling and grappling, he can completely drain you. He can trap you like a human-weighted blanket, leaving you struggling just to move. And I'm thinking, that's not entertaining for anyone. It's not enjoyable for me, it shouldn't be enjoyable for him, and it's definitely not something fans want to watch. And honestly, that's exactly what he did when he captured the world title. He used that suffocating style perfectly to get the victory. But I believe that's the worst possible outcome. In MMA, even the greatest fighters in the world usually lose by getting knocked out or submitted. This sport is brutal and completely different from boxing. It's all about what you've done lately. One moment they love you, the next they turn on you. You win a fight, everyone forgets the previous loss and starts cheering again. That's why I think too many fighters focus on avoiding defeat instead of chasing victory. The only thing that matters is going out there and trying to win. If I step into that octagon and he proves he's better, outskills me, and beats me while I give everything I have, I can still walk away proud knowing I left everything inside that cage. But let's be clear, that's not happening. Why? Because I'm too good. I know.
As the fight approaches, when you're in camp, what finding those 1% actually looks like for you, the places that you have to put yourself to be doing more than anybody else.
I'm going to say something that I think a lot of people wouldn't expect, but I feel like the 1% is by doing less. Rest and recovery and joy. Joy as a 1%. Like, I enjoy spending time with my wife and my kids. I enjoy spending time with my friends and my family. I feel better when I'm playing in the garden with my little boy.
You're not looking at your watch thinking another hour of sparring and I'll be even fitter, even stronger, even more prepared.
I train once a day for maybe 5 days a week.
Even in camp?
Hard. When I show up at those sessions, I give it 100%. Whatever I'm doing, I'm always focusing on something each session that helps me get to where I want to be in my expectations of myself. The 1% for me are nutrition, recovery, sleep, joy, laughter, friendship. Everything you do affects your life.
Yeah.
So I can be the best I want to be on the mats. And when I spar, I can be the best in the world. But if I'm an arsehole to my wife and I'm not being her best friend, then I go into the cage going, oh, thank God I'm not. Like, that's not the energy I want. I want to be with my friends.
So you have balance even in camp. No fighter I've ever spoken to has balance in camp, and you'll know that from your background.
But what you've just said is the problem. In camp. This is my life. There should be no camp. There should be no, I've stopped training, but now I'm getting back in because I've got to fight. This is my life.
But like every boxer or every fighter ever has done that.
But I'm a professional. 2 of my biggest fights of my life, actually, I'd argue 3 of the biggest fights of my life have been on short notice. I fought my pro debut the 16th of February 2021 in Cage Warriors Liverpool on 7 days' notice against an animal. I fought arguably the biggest challenge of my career so far on 3 weeks' notice against Shavkat Rakhmonov, who was 18-0 and had 18 finishes going into that fight.
Yeah.
I took him on 3 notice when everybody else in the world said.
This confidence isn't just another loudmouth performance for the cameras. Ian Machado Garry begins every training camp by tearing apart his opponent's entire game plan, studying every possible danger, weakness, and nightmare scenario that could lead to defeat. Garry breaks down every single way his opponent could potentially beat him, making sure he has an answer ready before the fight even begins. From defending takedowns to escaping dangerous positions, Garry wants to be prepared for every situation that could happen inside the octagon. He believes there will be no surprises waiting for him because he has already studied every weapon Islam Makhachev could bring.
I feel like when I start when I know who I'm going to fight, I start with the negative elements. What could go wrong? What could he do right? Where could he try win the fight? How could he try win the fight? Is it going to be by taking me down and holding me down? Is it going to be by trying to cause chaos and make it a scramble and I have to be smart with my defense and move my feet and get out of the pocket? What are the ways that this person I'm fighting, I believe, could he try to take advantage of to win this fight? Once he does that, I train for all those. So that in the fight, I know mentally, I've done it. And the closer to the fight, every week that gets closer, it's more and more and more.
According to Ian Machado Garry, by the time fight week arrives, every single doubt will already be gone. After preparing for every possible threat during his training camp, he believes he can now train with complete freedom, confidence, and zero hesitation. That mindset makes him fearless, allowing him to push himself at the highest level while trusting his instincts. Since he has already considered every possible scenario, Garry feels that each training session brings him closer to perfection. He is fully convinced that when he steps into the octagon against Islam Makhachev, he will be the best version of himself and completely ready for the challenge.
As I get to a week out from the fight week itself, I am putting people in body bags when it comes to just the outward, the pace, the mindset, the freedom of my body being able to move and go, because I've seen how this can play if it's the worst element it can possibly be, and I know I'm ready for it. And every single second along the way since when I started that, I've been getting closer and closer.
But Ian Machado Garry's confidence goes far beyond training plans and preparation. He believes fighting is something he was born to do, and every time he enters the octagon, everything naturally seems to come together. Instead of constantly trying to explain or prove his confidence, Garry simply trusts that inner feeling and believes it has guided his entire career. That is exactly why standing across from a champion as successful as Islam Makhachev does not intimidate him. Garry fully understands the level of opponent he is facing. He knows Islam has won major title fights, defended his championship, and defeated some of the toughest fighters in the world, but he still believes he is ready for the challenge.
I feel like I've been put on this earth to fight, and there's just a divine guidance that when I get in that octagon, everything just goes my way. Every time. Every time. I don't know what it is, how it works. I don't care to question it. I just enjoy it. I just feel like I'm doing what I love. I'm doing what I was put on this earth to do. And I've got so much more to do.
So where does fear sit then? Because I look at Makhachev. He's had 5-round title fights. He's defended belts. Mm-hmm. He's moved weight classes. He's beaten champions. Mm-hmm. You've never fought for a UFC world title.
Nope.
This is the guy that's done it all against the guy doing it for the very first time.
Yes.
There must be fear.
I mean, no.
On top of that, Ian Machado Garry revealed a completely different approach to gaining an edge during training camp. While many fighters believe success comes from doing more, pushing harder, and spending endless hours in the gym, Garry believes the real secret is knowing when to do less. He places huge importance on recovery, rest, and spending valuable time with his wife, children, and loved ones because he believes that's what keeps him mentally and emotionally sharp. Instead of exhausting himself with non-stop training, Garry focuses on making every session count. He says he gives everything he has.
As the fight approaches, when you're in camp, what finding those 1% actually looks like for you, the places that you have to put yourself to be doing more than anybody else.
I'm going to say something that I think a lot of people wouldn't expect, but I feel like the 1% is by doing less. Rest and recovery and joy. Joy as a 1%. Like, I enjoy spending time with my wife and my kids. I enjoy spending time with my friends and my family. I feel better when I'm playing in the garden with my little boy.
You're not looking at your watch thinking another hour of sparring and I'll be even fitter, even stronger, even more prepared.
I train once a day for maybe 5 days a week.
Even in camp?
Hard. When I show up at those sessions, I give it.
When Ian Machado Garry walks into those training sessions, he says he gives everything he has. But according to him, the secret weapon isn't just brutal workouts, it's the small details that separate champions from everyone else. Garry explained that every part of his daily routine plays a role in his performance. Things like proper nutrition, quality sleep, recovery, and even moments of happiness and laughter are the hidden 1% advantages that help elite athletes rise above the competition.